All right. It is 9:34. What is going on, everyone? And welcome to this week's brand new episode of 27 Outs. I, of course, am Ivan, and as always, alongside my partner in crime here, Stefan. And listen, I gotta be honest, man. I think tonight is certainly a night where I could relate to some of the teams that we are indeed going to get into here tonight, right? Some of these teams have been scuffling. Not going to get into exactly who we are referencing when I say that, but as you can tell by the title of tonight's video, got some Wild Wild West action going on. Going to talk about the Yanks again, unfortunately, but also, some other teams as well, right? Not only are we going to talk about what we see in the title as always, but we also like to work our way around the league. And then, of course, chat with you guys. Always got to save some time for you guys as well, right? I was going to I wish, Rick, this is actually beyond the unpacking, I must say, when it comes to the reason why we're starting at 9:30 tonight. But to make a long story short, I know you guys are waiting for another story time. I don't have a story time tonight. I'm sorry. But I will let you guys know on my end that I think, it's fair to say that I think all of us could agree when I say this, but sometimes you could map out something to a T. I'm talking like, this is going to take this amount of time. That's going to take that amount of time. And somehow, some way, especially when it involves other people, listen, things happen, right? And
Yeah.
you may want to start something at a particular time and something comes up and then things have to get pushed back. So,
Oh,
Rick, I saw your comment last week. I could have definitely used that excuse. Today's a little different. But you know what? I'm still gonna go with that. So thank you for mentioning that. But anyway, let's get into tonight's brand new show. Stefan, how you feeling? It looks like you have a story time. Go ahead.
so story time, guys, because I'm gonna tell you this right now. This week has been one of those weeks where you really want to get things going in the proper direction. My setup is gonna look a certain way. It's gonna be fire. I can't wait. Oh my god! Then when you get to actually doing what you got to do, everything just changes, right? And you go from feeling like, oh my god, yo, when this setup is complete, it's gonna look bonkers to damn, bro, I gotta do this again. Like we can't even get it all the way right. And so, like everything he's talking about right now, I can relate to in a completely like similar way, right? And it's out of our control, which is the most hilarious part. Because if you know anything about me and this guy, we're perfectionists when it comes to this thing. So when things don't go our way, people just be looking at us like, damn, bro, it's not that bad. Why y'all killing yourselves? And I'll just be like, damn, but it's not the way it's supposed to be. But speaking of way it's supposed to be, because enough of me ranting, I'm just really upset about how things went today. But listen, man, can we just give some credit to the greatness of Paul Skeens? Because usually we start with like the negatives and who needs to do what and who needs to change what. But let me tell you something right now. Did you see this stat about Paul Skeens to his first 50 starts in the big leagues? A 2.02 ERA, the second lowest to Vita Blue. Vita Blue through his first 50 starts with Oakland. Vita Blue was one of the main pitchers of the Athletic 70 championship teams. 2.1 ERA, bro, through his first 50 starts. And I was like, yo, it's him and Paul Skeens, and that's it. That's it. I saw that. I was like, hold up. This guy's playing video games in the big leagues, bro. And just imagine, we're seeing him do this. Imagine if they scored that brother some runs. Just imagine if they scored that brother some runs, he'd be the Cy Young winner every year, and he don't even got to. Just him rolling out of bed, he's winning the Cy Young in the National League.
Listen, and a lot of you guys know this, especially if you've have been around for long enough to be able to remember this. Stefan, I think you should be able to remember this, but I say that because for those who remember, Paul Skeens was actually my pick for this year's National League Cy Young Award, right? And he's turned out to make me look right when it comes to that prediction. But listen, when it comes to that run support that you just mentioned there, Stefan, listen, I think
Unbelievable,
if
bro.
Paul Skeens got some genuine run support, listen, I'm not saying he got to play for the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Mets, Padres, one of these teams who look like they have it all, figured out when it comes to the roster and the way they put things together. But listen, put him on a team that's slightly better than the Pirates, I say, and I think Paul Skeens wins 20 games in his sleep.
No doubt. Let me dumb it down for y'all. Do me a favor. Put Paul Skeens on the Blue Jays. Paul Skeens is the best pitcher in baseball. If he's on the Toronto Blue Jays right now, he's the best pitcher in the big leagues. Can we at least have the conversation that what Pittsburgh is doing to him is the akin of having a Mona Lisa hung in a basement that nobody goes to? Nobody goes to the basement, bro. The basement of the house is where your deep freezer is, that you have like shit that nobody even remembers was there.
You know what the crazy thing is too is
Unbelievable.
if we already get as hype as we do as baseball fans when it comes to Paul Skeens, and forget the fact that we're not even Pirates fans, right? Like we just enjoy the guy for the talent and what he's able to do on the baseball field. But
Absolutely.
the crazy thing is, imagine if he actually played in a big market. Like the amount of love
Oh
that
my
he would get.
goodness.
I mean, I can
Yes.
only imagine.
Like, forget about you said big market. I'm putting him in a country. Imagine him pitching in Toronto for that country. Forget about the Yankees and all that. Yo, dog, him in Toronto with that crowd in the playoffs with a chance to do something special. I'm a Yankee fan, but I want to see Paul Skeens in Toronto
Listen,
now.
I think if that were to happen, I think it would be Roy Halladay all over again, but on steroids.
Even better. Yes.
Legit.
Yeah, because listen, we sit here and we talk about how great he is, on a Pirate team that sometimes you don't even realize they're in the big leagues. You don't even realize they're in the big leagues. Like they'll win a couple games here and there, but Paul Skeens is so special, man. Just the ability to know that I gotta go out here and be perfect nearly every pitch. Because if I hang one slider or if I throw one fastball right down the middle of the plate, I might lose 1-0.
Right.
Like that might be the game. And just to have the presence of mind to stay sharp all the way through that is something that I can't even fathom. Like forget about the pressure of being a big leaguer, but let's add to the pressure of I have to be perfect every time I hit the mound. I have to be impeccable.
Yeah, because
I
of where
have
he
to be
plays.
yes. And then the sad part is you feel like ownership's taking him for granted already because of the money that they're getting from him and they're generating through his starts. You already feel them taking advantage of him because the fact of the matter is, bro, listen, that guy's a walk-in money plant. Like he literally prints money. Wherever you go, there's Paul Skeens bobblehead, Paul Skeens jerseys, there's gonna be Paul Skeens beanies, Paul Skeens onesies. He's gonna generate so much money. And the sad part is, the owner, Bob Nutting, is not gonna invest any of that money. And that's the sad part. So the conversation of, this guy has a 2.2 ERA through 50 starts and we're not even talking about him being on a contender. It's almost as like you just hope against all hope that he doesn't get hurt before the apex comes, where he's able to get out of Pittsburgh, get himself in a winning situation so you could really see what he's like. Because the one name that pops into my brain, and I want to know what you think about this in the chat, I feel like this is Jacob deGrom all over again. Am I wrong for saying that?
No, you're right. I think I forgot when it was that we were talking about Paul Skeens. It might have been like an episode or two ago, but certainly recently, and maybe somebody who's watching right now may remember this. But I quickly said, like, listen, watching Paul Skeens pitch for the Pirates every fifth day to me is the equivalent of when I used to watch Jacob deGrom every fifth day back when he was on the Mets a few seasons ago.
Yes.
He was gonna give you a quality start. You know, he was gonna go at least to like what 6 2/3, maybe even the seventh inning if possible.
This is a good comp too. Zach Greinke. Yeah.
Zach Greinke, yeah,
Yeah. Zach
but
Greinke. That's a great
but
comp.
Zach Greinke on the Royals, because I don't think Zach Greinke anywhere else would make sense if you're gonna make that comparison. But since it's coming from you, Shrek, I know you mean Zach Greinke back when he was on the Royals, right?
And I'll take it a step further. This is almost like King Felix when he was in Seattle.
Yes, another
Felix
one.
Hernandez had some of the best seasons that I've ever seen. But you look at Felix Hernandez and you go, bro, you were 12-13 and your ERA was like sub 2.5. And he won the Cy Young with an ERA that was that low, and his win-loss record was insane. And I often wonder if King Felix would have got out of there sooner, how different his career would have been. It's the same thing with a guy like Ichiro. I know it's a different thing, but you wonder, yo, damn, if Ichiro would have got out of Seattle a little bit earlier and said, hey, man, I'm going to prioritize winning over loyalty, I wonder how many championships Ichiro has if he goes to a different situation.
I know
But
that's a great question, and what
I,
it would have done for his career, right? Because even without doing that, we already seen that he's a Hall of Famer.
no
So
doubt.
could you
Yeah.
imagine what like maybe winning a World Series or two would have done for his legacy?
I
Forget
think
about it.
about this. Think about Ichiro in Boston with those Red Sox teams, Poppy, Pedroia. Imagine Ichiro patrolling right field and center field in Fenway Park.
Nah, man, that would have been unfair, dude.
But I'm
If you would
saying
have put somebody like an Ichiro, who listen, we should all remember this, but Ichiro in his prime,
he
that
was
was
different.
200, forget
Yeah.
200 hits, 220 plus hits
Yeah,
per
he was
season.
different. He was
He was
different.
going to hit over like
Yeah.
320, over 330. He
Yeah.
was going to steal about 40 to 50 bags. Like Ichiro was just like unheard of. And on top of that, win a gold glove in right field too.
And he had the sneaky power where if you threw something in his nitro zone, he might have taken you deep. And by the time you look up, you're down 1-0. It's the first inning, and this guy's circling the bases, or with his speed in Fenway Park, that's an inside the park home run. Just the thought of like, I feel like Paul Skeens is in this rare class where you're like, Ichiro, King Felix, DeGrom, like the only thing you ask is don't waste your career. You know what I'm saying? Just don't waste the career because you're that good. Like we're watching one of the best pitchers to ever grace a pitcher's mound, and that's not hyperbolic. We're talking about 50 starts. This is not 10 starts, 12 starts. This is 50 starts.
Yeah, this is at 50 starts. Essentially, you're looking at 2 seasons worth of games already.
Yes, and
as a
he's been
pitcher.
dominant from pitch one. From pitch
Now,
one.
here's what I would hate to happen, right? And I don't want to be the guy who we look back at this and people are like, damn, Ivan, well, you spoke this into existence. Absolutely not. All right. But I would hate for the days of Paul Skeens being at his quote unquote best now as opposed to later in his career, right? Where it ends up possibly being like the complete opposite, right? Like that would be a huge letdown. It'd be like, damn, but is it really his fault, or is it because the Pirates were the team who ended up with him and they just didn't know how to handle a player like that?
They didn't know how to appreciate how great he was. The guy is great. And I know we throw that word around a lot, but 2.2, listen, look at that. Yo, he's barely giving up 2 runs a game in 50 starts. You're not scoring off the dude.
I know we were just talking about, a guy like Ichiro, for example, and Felix, had they not, played for as long as they did in Seattle. Call me crazy, but the numbers for Skeens are already as crazy as they are, right? But I think had he been on a team slightly better, as you mentioned, a contender, I think it would be even better.
Yeah,
I think so.
And here's the other thing too. Like you wonder how much tutelage he's getting in Pittsburgh, where how much of this is just natural ability, where he's not really getting coached. Like Paul, do this in this count. Put yourself together in this count. Let me get him with a good pitching coach that knows, that sets him up, that puts him in a better advantageous position to be even better. I wonder what that looks like with a little bit more seasoning, because there's some nights where you just look at him and you realize, oh, that's just pure like stuff. Like he's not even pitching out there. He's just throwing. He's having fun. It's
Playing
him.
catch.
Yeah, it's him and the catcher in the backyard going, all right, man, I'm throwing this fastball in this spot. I'm throwing this changeup right here. And there's no real rhyme or reason to whatever he. Now, he's a cerebral dude. Like, he's a cerebral dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's really smart. But I wonder if you get him with a better pitching coach and a better pitching staff. Like, I hate to do it, but I'd love to see Paul Skeens with the Red Sox. I'd love to see him in Houston. I'd love to see him in places that they know what to do with pitching.
If he were to go to Houston, man, I just have a feeling that it would remind me of Garrett Cole all over again, or better.
Yes.
Because Cole on the Astros was wild, man. I think he had this one season, I forget the year it was, where he struck out like over 300 dudes with the Astros, bro. And I was like, hold on now. But if you put Skeens in a situation like that, he might actually show you that you could actually be better wearing that uniform. No lie.
Yo, he might strike out 350 dudes in a season, bro. That's
Yeah.
insane.
So where is he at right now? Because I
That's
know I
insane.
said that I have him winning the National League Cy Young Award, but I know I probably said something along the lines of him probably striking out like 300 dudes. Okay, so he's at 181. He's not gonna get 120 strikeouts between now and the end of the season,
Yeah,
but
you never know.
realistically
You never
speaking,
know.
he might finish somewhere. Maybe we're looking what? Maybe 230, 240, 250
I
max.
got him anywhere between 230 and 250.
Yeah, I do too.
That's like the sweet spot. We see the comments in here.
Yeah, look at that. Thank you for leaving that comment there. So Garrett Cole struck out 326 dudes in 2019 with the Astros.
Wow.
You see?
If you do the math, I wonder how many strikeouts that is per 9 innings. He had to be like getting like 8 to 10 Ks every start.
Easily. That's got to be like
Wow.
reaching 10, I believe. I must say,
That's
think.
like 10 Ks a start. That is madness.
Yeah.
Madness. Guys, real quick, you know the socials by now, but let me pop it up on the screen. But you should know the socials by now. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. We've been doing this long enough. I'm not even gonna go through the whole spiel. Here they are. Follow them all. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of socials, quick thank you for those of you who follow us on TikTok. I know on last week's show I was telling you that we were inching closer to 4,000 likes. We have officially reached that and surpassed it already. So now the new goal is 5,000 likes on the TikTok. So, just wanted to remind you guys, that when we do reach certain milestones that we tell you about as we get closer to it, it's important to remind you guys that we got to it, right?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
that matters.
So thank you. Speaking of this, let me just. I don't really want to. Oh my! Wow! Look at this.
Damn. So that's basically 14. That's crazy, bro.
Yo, that is. If you're walking, if you're walking up to the plate, right? You got to think, all right, he's gonna strike me out no matter what I do right here. Like that has to be the most helpless feeling in the universe, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I would be walking up there like, all right, bro. You get 2 strikes on me. I'm gonna just start walking back to the dugout before you even throw the third pitch. Like, you got me, bro. That is insane. That is incredible. See, don't apologize, Sox fan for life, because I wanna do something right here for you.
Before you start, I would actually say thank you, though. Thank you for
appreciate it.
You and for your team for doing what you guys did over the weekend.
Listen,
to the Yankees.
I'm
not mad, actually.
No, I want to ask you this question. Throughout the course of the weekend, is it me or were you hoping that the Red Sox just finished it off? Because at certain points during the weekend, I was kind of hoping that the Red Sox would just keep piling on and score more runs and embarrass the Yankees. Because look, Boston looks like they want it. Boston looks like they're playing with a sense of urgency. Boston understands the moment. There is no, all right, we'll get it together. We still got 30 plus games. No, we're going to attack it right now. And listen, that is the greatness of Alex Cora. The greatness of Alex Cora is, listen, don't take anything for granted because you never know what might happen. Listen, Roman Anthony came in the Yankee Stadium on Thursday, hit one of the longest home runs I've ever seen hit there. And here's the reality of it. Here's the reality of it. I will tell you this. They're a fun team to watch. Irregardless of how this season ends, I think we have to start looking at the Red Sox now as possible World Series contenders as early as next year. That's how good that young team is. And Nathaniel Lowe, credit. Listen, we killed Craig Breslow for the Devers trade. You got to give him credit now for when they show up and they do what they got to do. We
Wasn't
gonna
Nathaniel Lowe's like first at bat a homer in a Red Sox uniform, right?
something like that, and then he
Yeah.
comes off the bench the other day in the seventh inning and hits a rocket double down the right field line, and I'm like, yeah, that's a guy that just looks like he's postseason ready. He understands the moment. You took me from the goulash in Washington. You took me from obscurity. And now I get to go play for the Red Sox and chase down a division title? Oh, yeah, it's on.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Nathaniel Lowe for taking care of business. And listen, look, Brian Bale, that boy pitched on Friday night. He pitched on Friday night. He made the Yankees look like toddlers in preschool. You do not belong on the same field with me, so sit your behind down somewhere. This grown folk business.
Yeah. You know what I like about Bayo is because I think, especially coming into the season, I, of course, and some other people as well, we're looking at the Red Sox rotation outside of Garrett Crochet because we all knew what he was more than likely going to do. And he's doing exactly that. And I would say more, actually.
He's
But
unbelievable.
I say that because a guy like Bayo, like he has legitimately become a solid number 2 for the Red Sox.
No doubt.
And then you have a sneaky number 3 in a guy like Lucas Giolito.
Yeah.
Like, who's to say if he has it all together in a postseason game, right? That he can't go 6-7 strong. I wouldn't put him past him. I wouldn't.
Listen, the Red Sox are no fun to deal with. They're no fun. You're literally going from Crochet to Bayo to if he's right, that's a top 3. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's an incredible top 3. And then Aroldis Chapman, I don't know where this came from, but he's sipping from the fountain of youth. He went to
37 years old, bro. We were talking about it yesterday, and I'm glad you're here,
unbelievable.
Sox fan for life, and even for the rest of you guys who are watching as well, right? But I was telling Stefan over the phone, like, yo, listen, I know he hasn't called it a career yet, but he's certainly getting up there in age. And when you look at how long Aroldis Chapman has been not this good, because surprisingly, he's having his best season yet at 37 years of age, bro.
Incredible.
But for him to still be pumping 100 plus miles per hour as if he were 27 and not 37,
that's crazy.
Is absolutely crazy. Plus, he's got the World Series ring to back it all up, right? Because I know for a lot of people, if you don't have that, they don't even want you in to begin with. I mean, Aroldis Chapman at this point is only cementing his legacy, you know?
Sox fan for life with the great point here. Garrett Whitlock has been great for them in the setup role. Listen, forget about what the Yankees didn't do, all right? Because we're going to get to them in a second. Forget about them. The Red Sox showed you what happens when, first of all, you're playing loose and free, but you're also playing with a determination and a will and a purpose. They came into Yankee Stadium with a plan. They came into Yankee Stadium with a purpose. They came into Yankee Stadium letting you know it's time to put these guys to bed because they ain't serious. So they put the Yankees in the pajama clothes and they said night night. They tucked them in.
What I think this year's Red Sox did? I think that series, that we all saw over the weekend between them and the Yankees, I think that was one that they had circled on the calendar, bro. I think they wanted it more going into the series. Like before the first pitch was even thrown, the Red Sox, I believe, were more than likely already amped up, especially when you consider the point of the season that we're currently at. Only a month left, and then they know, like, listen, Yankees, just like the Dodgers said last season, just let them play their game. They're gonna shoot themselves in the foot at the end of the day, right?
Listen,
And one thing I want to point out too, when it comes to the Red Sox, I want to give them a lot of credit because they dealt with some BS from day one. Obviously, the whole Devers situation, didn't know whether he was gonna give in or ultimately they ended up making the decision for him and said, "Yo, you know what? Leave us alone. We think we could figure it out without you."
no
And
doubt.
they've done exactly that.
Mhm.
I also mentioned earlier in the chat today that they had lost their first baseman in Casas for the remainder of the season. So they had to figure out a way on how they were going to maneuver that moving forward.
Mhm.
Alex Bregman also missed a portion of the season, ended up coming back sooner than we all had originally thought, including himself. Like, listen, the Red Sox, they've dealt with some things, man. And for them to be able to push through all of that in a very tough American League East this season, credit to them.
It's insane how they just listen. Injuries aside, they lost Dobbins, they lost Crawford. As Sox fan for life is pointing out right here, we're gonna put that comment up because I think that's apropos right now. Listen, look, the Red Sox are the type of team where if you told me today that the Red Sox are in the championship series against the Tigers, I think I'd believe you. I think I'd believe you. I think if you told me that the Red Sox are in the championship series against the Blue Jays, I think I believe you. I really do. I listen because at the end of the day, we have to stop focusing on what the negative is, right? We in the media, and I say we because we're part of the media now. Oh, that feels so cringy to say. Is we focus on the just the negative of everything, right? When I woke up this morning, I said, you know what? I'm going to heap all the praise on the Red Sox because they deserve it. They deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Bregman played like a champion this weekend. Nathaniel Lowe, he played like a guy that was resurrected. Like you got to give credit where credit is due. And here's the other thing too that I'm really, really proud of if I'm a Red Sox fan is Roman Anthony seems to embrace the pressure of being a Red Sox. Playing the Yankees. The stage didn't bother him. The bright lights didn't bother him. Nothing bothers that young brother. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. And listen, you hope Marcelo Maya comes back next year and we see a little more Christian Campbell because those three young brothers, if they put it together, the AL East could be theirs for the next 5 to 7 years, y'all.
Right.
That's how good they are. And
Yeah.
I'm not even going to sit here and pretend like the Yankees even deserve a shred of sympathy, apathy, respect. They don't deserve none of that. Shout out to Red Sox Nation. Y'all deserve it. So we got to give it to y'all. Roman
Mm-hmm.
Anthony said, "Hold up. You think this is a game? Oh, I'm ending your Thursday night early, and my boys and me gonna end your season too." Because what did I say on the what did I say on the show last week? This was make or break for the Yankees. I don't want to hear, well, they have 10 games against or 12 games against people under 500. Don't matter, don't care, get it out of here. Don't matter, don't care. On Saturday, you literally stood in the middle of the Yankee Stadium diamond and played yourself. You played yourself. You got thoroughly outclassed and embarrassed. And I'm supposed to tell you that the Red Sox didn't do what they had to do? Enough. Red Sox fans, if you want to dance on Yankee fans' grave right now, do it.
Yeah, by all
Do it.
means. That's why your first comment, Sox fan for life. I was glad to see that you joined us for tonight's show. But at the same time, you saw my reaction. I read it and I quickly smiled because it was like, yo, there's no hard feelings, man. As a
No.
Yankee fan myself.
Dance on the grave.
TD, I see you, bro. Shout out to you for actually stopping by at this
What's up,
time.
bro?
Great time, by the way, because we are, on the topic of the Red Sox and that Yankee series that just went down.
Listen, Red Sox fans, do me a favor. Blast that dirty water for all it's worth and dance on the grave. Dance on it. And this is coming from two Yankee fans telling you to dance on our grave. Because Ivan, you want to tell them the truth, or should I?
Well, it depends on what it is, because maybe I do know, or perhaps I don't.
Okay, so me and you spoke last night. Me and you had a conversation, right? Because we talk baseball. We do this. This is not just for on camera, just for y'all. We do this. And I said to him last night, I said, these are the type of games that remind me of what the Yankees used to be. This is what the Yankees used to be.
So wait, so just to clarify, right? Because I want everybody to fully understand. When you say used to be, are you referring to the rough stretch that they had gone through before they went on that little winning streak, or
I'm talking about staying level headed throughout the course of whatever the season may bring.
mm,
I'm talking about understanding what the process was when you understood, listen, we're going to go through a rough patch, but we're also going to stay the course, because the Red Sox went through a rough patch when they got rid of Devers. It was a little ugly there for half a second, and then they got hot, and they haven't looked back. And again, you know what I also think the difference is too? I think it's the manager allowing his players to be able to be comfortable in whatever position they want to be in. It's the manager putting his arm around you, going, "Yo, I understand what it's like to win in this market. So just keep working at it." It's the value of having Alex Bregman in the room, who's a captain, who's won championships, who when he tells you something, it is what it is.
By the way, I just want to add on to that Alex Bregman point, because I was watching something earlier today and they were covering the Red Sox and how well they've been playing despite some of the things that they've had to go through this season. And could you believe that Alex Bregman, like without actually physically being on the field while he was hurt, of course, as he was trying to work his way back, he was still like, his voice was being heard, around the clubhouse. Players on the field would even tell you it felt as if he was still with them
No doubt.
while being hurt,
Yeah.
not being able to suit up. Like, it's just crazy. Like, when you have not you saying it yourself, but others speaking on your behalf when it comes to you and how you approach the game overall,
Yep.
listen, man, that speaks volumes.
What it also does is it tells you that he understands his place in the clubhouse. That when it's time for leadership to take place, they know who to go to, right? There's not this question of, yo, who's the leader in here? We know who the leader is. And you could tell because he said something about Roman Anthony during one of the games. I think it was the Fox broadcast where he said Roman Anthony respects the people that are in here. He respects the big leaguers. He's always looking for knowledge. He's always looking for somebody to tell him something, right? Yo, how does this work? How does that work? How do we put this together? And to have a guy that's that thirsty for knowledge, excuse me, and that hungry to get better, there's no better teacher in the game than Alex Bregman. 2 World Series rings. He's been to how many World Series? 4.
He's been to a few, yeah.
Shout out to him. We need to
Listen,
stop.
I've said this before, and I will continue to say, especially now more than ever, when you look at how Bregman continues to play for the Red Sox, how the Red Sox overall as a team are looking.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a better fit for the Red Sox or for Alex Bregman. I think
Mm-hmm.
the agreement that they came to was necessary, and it shows. Like, there's no better match. This is legit like the definition of a match made in heaven.
It's like a hand to a glove. It's like a hand to a glove.
The perfect fit.
It fits so perfect. It's like a hand to a glove. And you know what? I'm happy, Red Sox fans. I'm a baseball fan. I ain't a hater. Yeah, I might root for the Yankees in my downtime. I'm an off timer when I'm off this microphone. But when I'm here, I was proud of y'all. I was happy for y'all. Because I said, you know what? At least that's something that I could watch on a daily basis. If I'm a Red Sox fan, I wake up today feeling proud. Bro. How can you not? How can you not wake up feeling like, you know what? We just put our biggest rivals to sleep. And here's the reality of it. They look helpless against us.
Right.
And we know it.
You know what's the crazy part too? And I said this a couple of weeks ago, and it's kind of crazy how it ended up being true. But I remember prior to the series between the Yankees and the Red Sox, and the few games that the Yankees did win in a row. Before all of that, I was like, listen, guys, if you're a Yankees fan, they're gonna make things interesting. They're gonna go on a run. They're gonna win a couple of games. And one thing that Stefan said that was really funny, but it really makes all the sense in the world was, listen, you could even go on a winning streak as far as 10 plus games, 12 games, whatever it was that you said, Stefan. And even that won't do anything. And you want to know why? Because the Yankees, at the end of the day, they are going to show you exactly who they are. And what did they do against the Red Sox? They went right back to throwing the ball all around the diamond, bro.
Yep.
Literally.
Yep. You know the saying, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
Believe them, yeah.
Listen, it's time to have an uncomfortable conversation, boys and girls. Because I'm here to tell you, I'm getting off the Aaron Judge bus. I'm done. I'm done with him, and I'm done with this. You could call me a Jeter lover. I don't care. You could call me hard nose. I don't care. Ivan, you got the stats. I sent them to you. I sent you his baseball reference page. When it's no. Yes, it is. Because a leader doesn't let you get embarrassed on your field. A leader stands up and says, yo, I got to do something to affect the game.
Right.
I got to do something to let people know this ain't going down like this. And I don't want to hear he's hurt. Because if you hurt, don't play. You all good swinging a bat, right? You said you all good swinging a bat, right? This is a history of this dude not coming up big when the team needs him most. And then to act so monotone in the post-game press conferences, like you ain't got nothing to lose and it's all good. You need to reevaluate how important you are, brother. Last I checked, you got captaincy, but you didn't win nothing.
Right.
There's no championships next to your resume. We got to start treating you like Dave Winfield. I said A-Rod, but A-Rod run a wing, so that's not fair to A-Rod.
Mm-hmm.
We got to start treating this brother like he's Dave Winfield.
I agree.
Oh, but that's not fair. Oh, look at the MVPs he's won. Look at... We really about to do this? Don't defend him, Yankee fans. If any Yankee fan sees this clip, Ivan, I swear I want this clipped up early. If any Yankee fan gets in any of those comments and defends this brother, we blocking you.
You know they will.
Blocking you.
You know they will. And here's the thing I want to say too, Stefan, because I know you have a lot more to say. But I just want to go back to our conversation last night because we did touch on what we're talking about with you guys briefly, but we like to save the juicy stuff for this, this moment right here. When we're live with you guys, we get the reactions from you as well in real time. But since when, and I'm speaking to Yankee fans, and even if you're not a Yankee fan, please chime in because listen, Aaron Judge is loved by baseball fans, period, right? Even casuals. But since when did a guy like Aaron Judge become, somebody who was above getting booed, right? Like, since when did Aaron Judge become the type of player where, like, you couldn't really say anything that's negative about his style of play? Like, I just don't get that, right? Like, he's a special talent, right? But one thing doesn't always necessarily have to do with the other. And it's okay to call out more than one thing for what it is, right? And that's all we're doing here. Sorry, Stefan, but I just had to put that out there.
No, you good. But like, let me ask you a question, right? We're both Yankee fans, but we try to be as impartial as possible when it comes to this show because we want to talk baseball with y'all. It don't matter who we root for. Since when is it bad for this brother to get criticized? They booed Jeter. They booed Mariano. They boo A-Rod. And A-Rod had one of the greatest postseasons I've ever seen. They booed Giancarlo. Giancarlo saying when the lights are the brightest, this brother shows up every postseason. and you got the nerve to boo him? Oh, but Precious 99. We can't boo Precious 99 because he's the captain and he's special. And man, if I was at Yankee Stadium this weekend, I would have two questions for y'all. This your man's? This who you riding and dying with? Is this your man's? Because if this your man's, guess what? You headed for early grave. And also, Hal Steinbrenner, you should be embarrassed to have the Steinbrenner name. The fact that you sit there and you tuck tail when it gets hot and you know where to be found in Yankee Stadium. You quiet in the church mouse, brother. Nobody can find you. There's an APB out for Hal. We're looking for this brother. He's on a milk carton right now. They looking through all the Tampa area. Where you at? And you know where to be found? And you supposed to be the owner of the team? Hold up now. You're carrying the same lineage of a guy in George who would be at Yankee Stadium, at Fenway Park, at Shea Stadium, at all the big series, walking around to let you know he was in the building. Your team is circling the drain, and you sitting up in a plush mansion in Tampa checking on your racehorses? Get them away from me. Get them away from me. Don't even tell me about no playoffs. Don't tell me about this dude being a captain. Aaron Judge, as far as I'm concerned, your captaincy is irrelevant.
By the way, bro, I'm sorry, but you can't stop there. We got Ray asking for more. We got TD saying you're on the road. Like, people are enjoying this rant here, bro. If you got anything else to say, take an extra minute or two to continue.
But I'm asking y'all, is anything I'm saying hyperbolic or wrong? I'm being dead serious when I ask y'all this.
Well, you know, when it comes to me, you know, we see eye to eye when it comes to this type of stuff. But I genuinely would like to know would like to know what the chat, thinks.
Like, chat, am I bugging? I'm being for real, because nothing about this is emotional, bro. All of this is, I'm showing you.
It's factual.
They tell me about all his MVPs, right? Ivan, do me a favor. What's his postseason average?
It's pretty bad. Let's see.
It's just over 200, is it not?
Right.
204 is what I saw. Tell me if I'm wrong.
I got you.
And you're going to sit there and tell me that this is the guy I got to respect?
Yeah, 205 in 58 games in his career.
Come on, bro. And you want me to treat him like we treated Jeter? You're not even Don Mattingly, bro. You Dave Winfield. You're not even Don Mattingly. Don Mattingly, the only reason why the 80s Yankees were bad is because they had no pitching.
Right.
You look at some of those 80s Yankees teams, Ricky Henderson, Dave Winfield, Don Mattingly. Some of those 80s Yankees teams could score, bro. Don Mattingly damn near was unbelievable.
Yeah. And shout out to you, Ray, for leaving this comment. This is even worse. So 205 is his average overall in the postseason. And to hit below 200 in the year you finally made it to the World Series? Damn.
Not only that. So you decide to wake up in Game 5 when the series is all but decided. And nobody's going to remember the home run you hit or the catch you made when you jumped over the wall. All we're going to remember is the drop line drive in center field. You are a gif. You are a joke. You are not to be taken seriously. And I'm tired of all these Yankee fans who supposedly know the game. They get on all these radio shows. They get on all these platforms. Oh, but look at his numbers. He's still favored to win MVP. When did the Yankees become the consolation prize? When did MVPs become good enough? Remember, this is the standard y'all set for yourselves. Y'all tell the fan base every year, World Series a bust, World Series a bust, World Series a bust. You go around with the pom-poms. Yo, we're going to get there. Yo, we're going to get there. And your biggest players, this choke job, you're a choke job.
I remember last season, last postseason, and you and I felt this way too, Stefan. Like the more the Yankees got deeper into the playoffs, you were like, "Yo, it's only a matter of time." And I'm sure some of you guys who are watching as well felt this way when it came to Aaron Judge in the postseason last year. Yo, it's only a matter of time before he gets it going. Like a guy with this kind of talent can't be down for long. When in reality, and listen, I'm sure we all understand this by now. Judge is just one of those guys who you either have it in you or you
Or you
don't.
don't.
And he just doesn't have it in him.
See, because here's the thing. And it's unfair to compare the two, but I'm trying not to. But the captain I grew up loving, the captain I grew up respecting, would damn near obliterate somebody if this wasn't going right. There were people traded, there were people cut, there were people sent to Liberia damn near if you didn't show up. I'm used to my captain in the playoffs when it's money time. The only captain that we recognize over here. You know, remember the line? The only Christopher we recognize is Biggie. The only captain we recognize is the number 2 on his back.
I love that.
Get this big doofy 99 dude. Get him out of here.
All right.
Get him out of here. Yo, go play for the San Francisco Giants, my boy. You ain't, and as far as I'm concerned, I don't care what his numbers say. I'll take it a step further. He's not a great Yankee. Statistically, he may be up there. But when it's money time, he ain't a great Yankee.
Right. His resume doesn't scream all-time Yankee great. Right?
Are you kidding me? You hit 10 years, you make one chip, and you do that? You do that? You take a poop with your pants on, and you sit in your own filth, and I'm supposed to respect you? And then you got the audacity to wear Jordans on your feet. The audacity to put the GOAT on your feet every day and do that? Jordan should revoke your sponsorship. Rant done.
Wow. Let's all take a sec. For those of you who are still here, because we do have another topic that we, of course, would like to get into. But I must say, I think the time that we just spent on, breaking down the series between the Yankees and the Red Sox, giving credit to the Red Sox as we should, but also criticizing the Yankees as we should as well, right? Like we say it all the time. Just because we're Yankee fans doesn't mean that we're gonna sit here with our legs crossed, our hands crossed, and just simply not tell you guys the truth. So there's that. So thank you, Stefan, for doing that. But quickly, because I know Stefan mentioned it earlier. So one last reminder before we actually move on with today's show. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, aka X, at 27outs3C. And for those of you who are watching live right now via YouTube, I think you guys, if you've been around here before, you should know the drill. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here. And by the way, we actually, since we have started tonight's show, Stefan, I don't know if you checked, but, I did take a quick second to peek. And we picked up one sub. So whoever you are, I don't know if you're still here or if you came by and left, because it could go either way. Regardless of what you did, right? Thank you. We appreciate it. And it's always great seeing that we have people, joining the family while we're actively speaking to you guys, right? Like no better way to see the numbers going up than in real time. And of course, with you guys right here along with us. Let's get into some comments, actually, right? I don't think we got into that many comments yet. We've gotten into a few, but to take a few minutes here and to really get into what you TD says, nah, stop the other topics. Let the pastor continue, bro. Listen, I asked the pastor if he wanted a couple more minutes, and I think the time that we gave him was more than necessary, bro. Chad, what's good, bro? He says most explosive rant, and I'm all the way here for it. Thank you. Let's see. Let's see.
Somebody had to say it. Somebody had to say it. And you know what blows my mind, and we're leaving this right now? What blows my mind is that we're in the biggest city in the world. This has not been a topic on WFAN. This ain't been a topic on ESPN radio. This ain't been a topic nowhere. It's like this dude skates by for free.
Right, right. So they do, just to clarify, they do crap on the Yankees, but they don't talk about Judge in the way that you just did, or in the way that it should be done, right?
Because everybody wants to go for the cherry picking. Oh, let's pick on Volpe all day. Yeah, you could pick on Volpe, 18 errors, I'm cool. But when the captain of the team doesn't sit there and say, yo, you know what? I've been bad too for a prolonged stretch now, that has to be talked about. It just does.
This is an interesting question, TD, and I think it would have been even better had we had a Met fan watching right now. I don't know if we do or not, but he says, "Are the Mets New York's team now?" Listen, man. I ain't arguing with anybody when I know the Yankees aren't even a team to defend, especially right now at this very moment.
Nah.
I got no words, man. So whoever you think is New York's team, that's the team I'll go with.
New York's team right now is the Knicks because both baseball teams are terrible.
You're right. You're
They're
right.
terrible.
Right. Listen, the one thing that we could say for sure is, and not that it's a lock or a guarantee, even though it does feel like it, and I'm not a Knicks fan to be speaking on this, but the one thing that we could pretty much all agree on is that the Knicks are going to the Eastern Conference Finals yet again.
Yeah.
They are.
I mean, look, I'm not going to talk Knicks right now because I'm still in the middle of baseball season, but next year is going to be a fun one. I will say this, though. Speaking of fun ones, yo, listen. We got a new rivalry in baseball, y'all. It ain't Yankees Red Sox. It's Dodgers Padres. Put them brothers on national TV every single series. Don't play around. Don't tell me, maybe. No. Put them brothers on national TV every single series. Because if we get a Dodgers Padres series, and I get to watch 5 to 7 games of that.
Yeah. And we saw what it was like last season because they went the distance. I believe they played all 5 games in that series.
I'm telling you right now, there's some about those two teams that they don't like each other, and they know they don't like each other.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like each other at all, and it's great. It is great to see two teams that have such animosity towards each other.
You know what's interesting too, when I look at both of these teams, I kind of feel like it's the Padres who do more of the talking crap, trying to get beneath their skin. And then you have the Dodgers on the other hand, where they're like, "Yo, we're the Dodgers, bro. We just won. Like, look at our shiny rings. You want to be us." So that pisses off the Padres to want to even talk more crap towards the Dodgers. And it's like this they volley each other back and forth, you know?
See, but the Dodgers kind of feel like the little brother that's trying to gain the respect.
Or the Padres feel like.
The Padres, excuse me. You know what the Padres need to do? Put your head down and play, bro. Put your head down and play. That's it. You took 2 out of 3. You should have swept, but you took 2 out of 3. Cool. Hear that. Cool. Hear that.
By the way, speaking of putting your head down and play, I didn't reference. Well, actually, we did talk about this on last week's show, but I had brought it up again just a few days ago because, we put clips out on off days. And I had put out a clip that referenced, the fact that the Padres, they're ranked pretty low in homers. They're ranked pretty low in runs scored, period.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me wonder. It's like, well, obviously everyone's out to take down the Padres, the Dodgers, right? Them being the World Series champs last season. But it's like, I think if you're the Padres, you might have some other things to worry about because you want to score some runs, right? Because before it even comes down to being able to take down the Dodgers, first you got to clinch a playoff spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I think the Dodgers are probably going to have no problem doing. Listen, we
Mm-hmm.
could sit here and say, oh, the Dodgers ain't serious this year. Maybe they don't win the World Series, right? Like, listen, the World Series, I think winning a championship, period, in sports is difficult. But I think a World Series is, I would say, in like a league of its own when you consider the amount of games that the regular season is, plus having to play a full extra month's worth of games on top of that. Like, you're talking about damn near close to 200 games, bro. That's a lot of games.
And then for them, you talk about going back to back too.
Exactly.
That would be another feat that's incredible. Listen, say what you want about the Dodgers look vulnerable, the Dodgers look this, I get you. Get them in the playoffs. They know what to do to win a series. They know what to do to win a World Series. They won a championship last year.
And the great thing about the Dodgers too is they know how to do it with whatever's in front of them, bro.
Yeah, bro.
You know how a team, they might make it far and it's like, oh, well, if we had this guy and if this guy was healthy and his legs were, the Dodgers, listen, they work with what's in front of them. And listen, somehow, some way, they showed us last season in the World Series, they're going to figure it out. And they're going to figure out a way how to get it done.
You know why that injury excuse? I don't want to hear that. Freddie was playing on one leg and dominated the World Series. Your man's ankle was jacked up. And he said, all right, I'm going to just go out here, hit 6 home runs, be unbelievable, be impervious to pain, and just go be great. Freddie Freeman is the example of, I don't want to hear if we would have had player X, player Y, player Z. Your man was limping on one leg and made the Yankees his ya me. He was collecting the dollars and she was on the corner chilling.
You know what I like about what Freeman did last season on that postseason run, bro. It was very, very reminiscent of like what players would do back then, right?
Yeah,
banged up,
bro.
regardless of what could be going wrong. But because of how far you've come, the job's not finished.
You can't stop now.
So regardless of what I have going on, whether it be an ankle, whether it be a shoulder, whether it be an elbow, it varies, right? Listen, I'm still going to show up and perform to the best of my ability, right?
And I'm going to tell you this too. We already know they got some postseason killers. Kike, Teoscar Hernandez. We seen Freddie in the postseason kill. Listen, I don't care how bad Mookie Betts has been in the regular season. Mookie Betts in the playoffs is a killer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't want no problems with those Los Angeles Dodgers. I got news for you, Padres and Padre fans. If you don't do it this year with that loaded roster, I don't never want to hear y'all. I'm not ever going to take y'all serious ever again with this regime. You got everything you need to take down the Dodgers. The bullpen's explosive. The lineup is, you got everything. All-stars, bat-to-ball guys. You got Arise. You got Machado. You got Tatis. You got O'Hearn. You got Ramon Laureano, who's been hotter than the sun since he went to San Diego. If they do not get to at least the championship series and you're not knocking on the door of a World Series, I do not want to hear nothing from the Padres or their fans. And quite frankly, AJ Preller is damn near a miracle worker. If you don't get to the World Series, what he gave y'all, that's it.
That's fair.
And I'm going to tell you something right now. Jeremiah Estrada got to figure out what's going on with him. Did you see the stat? Against everybody else in the big leagues over 53 innings, he gave up 1 home run. Against the Dodgers, I think in 18 innings, he's given up 5 home runs. Figure it out, bro.
Maybe the Dodgers give him the jitters, bro, where he's not as confident on the mound. You know, it could be.
Well, you're going to get the jitters staying in the bullpen
on the bench. Before we got to this point now in this conversation, right? What was the one thing that you said? You was like, listen, Padres, Dodgers, like, that's the new Yankees-Red Sox rivalry that people fell in love with years ago.
Yeah.
So I think him being on the mound, knowing that he's against the Dodgers, knowing that that is a team that they would like to be, knowing that's the team that they actually have to take out because they are in the same division at that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, man, I can only imagine, like, when it comes to a Padres-Dodgers series, if you're a guy on the Padres, in the case of a Jeremiah Estrada, as you mentioned, listen, your mind is working around the clock 24 hours. Like, yo, how do
Yeah.
we take these guys down?
Yeah, because here's the thing. It ain't gonna get as easy as it is right now. The Dodgers are a walking wounded animal. Blake Snell just came back. Tyler Glass now, he just came back. At some point, you gotta be able to say, hey man, if it ain't gonna happen now, then it's probably never gonna happen.
Yep, that's true. I agree.
Because Tanner Scott's gonna get his stuff together. Alexis Diaz looks like the closer that he was early in Cincinnati. These boys are rolling. And here's the thing: you don't want to give Freddie the confidence. You don't want to give Shohei the confidence. Because even if Shohei don't show up in the World Series, his boys got his back.
Yeah.
His boys got his back. So it's like, damn, how much more can you do? Padres, you got weapons all over.
Right.
Your lineup is good enough. Your rotation's good enough. Your bullpen's unbelievable. If you do not win it now, you ain't winning nothing.
So I want to point out that we got a lot of comments, of course. And there's one in particular that stood out as we were going back and forth about the Padres and the Dodgers. So TD, he says that the Padres ain't making the playoffs. You know, listen, that's your opinion. And it is something that is certainly still possible, right? I don't want to act like between now and then the Padres can't, end up being a team that misses the playoffs, right? But listen, I think if you're a Mets fan, and not to make this a Mets discussion, right? Because we're clearly talking about the Padres and the Dodgers before we move on to the other West. And of course, that's the American League West. But the Mets, believe it or not, for those of you who haven't taken a look at it yet, please take a look at the National League wild card. It's the Mets who are a few games behind, looking up at some of these other teams, such as the Padres, who are fighting for a wild card spot. And as I mentioned, a lot of game left. So anything could happen between now and the very end of September. But it ain't looking for that team, first and foremost.
Mm-hmm. The Mets pitching is what's going to do them in. The pitching from the rotation and the bullpen being as compromised as it is, they just lost somebody else today. Reed Garrett went on the IL with a forearm problem.
Hey, TD, I hear you, bro. He is, but you got to get in order to activate the Juan Soto playoff dog that we know. You got to get in.
Yeah,
because
and
if you don't get in, it don't matter what he does in the playoffs because you're not a part of it.
Right. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Your pitching is going to do you in at some point. To me, I'm rolling with San Diego. I'm rolling with the Mets are going to get in, but the team that I'm watching very closely right now is those Chicago Cubs because they were just 9 back last week. You wake up today, they're 5 back. 5 back with 6 weeks left. That could be made up.
That's for the Central, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And if Kyle Tucker can get on a little bit of a hot streak, now we're starting to have a conversation about where do you put the Cubs.
Oh, he a hot streak. He's on that. Like he took I think he took being benched like a professional, right? I think he was okay with it, right? Or at least that's what it appeared to be.
Mm-hmm.
He took it like a champ. And listen, this is I know it's a change of scenery for Kyle Tucker, especially when you consider where he was at. A team that was, as you mentioned, Stefan, always fighting for his spot in the World Series in the Astros. But, it's all about what he's going to be able to do for himself and his family when this season is all said and done, right?
Yeah.
So I know that didn't sit well with him. And the fact that he now has gotten a chance to now be put back into the lineup to prove not only to himself, but to the rest of baseball, like, listen, I'm going to do whatever I can while I'm here wearing a Cubs uniform because I know that there's a blank check somewhere out there waiting for me come this offseason.
Mm-hmm. And listen, credit to him for taking the benching like a man. He didn't sulk. He didn't cry. He didn't say this is not fair. He took it. He understood he had to get better. And what did he do? He came back hotter than fish grease. And your brother's out here balling. I'm not saying the Cubs catch the Brewers, but what I am saying is it could get interesting here real quick. And
but right now, I believe they own the first wild card.
the Cubs.
I think it's the Cubs. Last time I checked, it was Cubs, Dodgers, Padres. Let me see if it's still like that. I want to make sure because I know certain games, have already been, played
Concluded.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah. And look, the crazy thing is we've seen the Brewers implode late in the season and make the wild card and lose division leads. So if you're Milwaukee, you starting to hear footsteps a little bit. You were just 9 up a week ago. What Jay-Z said, it was all good just a week ago.
So as we speak, it is still the same. So you got the Cubs, you got the Dodgers, you got the Padres, and then you have the Mets, who are 4 games back. Now I know 4 games could, disappear just like that. But if you're the Mets now, right? Again, you're looking up at some of these teams. You need the Cubs to scuffle. You need the Dodgers to scuffle.
You basically need
the
everything to go.
Padres to
You need
scuffle.
everything to go your way, and you need to get really hot.
Right. And on top of that, you have such a tough schedule coming your way this September. I mean, I don't know.
And
I
listen,
don't know. Listen, I'm not trying to be the negative dude who hosts 27 outs alongside Stephen. I don't want to be seen as that dude. But, it's important to go over some of the things that could play a factor and whether they make it or not.
Listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. Taylor Rogers, Ryan Helsley, they've been extremely disappointing as Mets. And if you can't get the ball to Edwin Diaz to close the game, what are we doing here?
Yeah, that's true.
You could give them 12-run leads. We've seen them blow leads, big leads. They did it 3 times. They did it twice in Milwaukee. Who's to say they could hold the lead?
It's crazy. I remember, I think a couple weeks ago, and I had put out a clip about this where we were talking about like the bats not really, being in sync with one another. Alonso Soto, Francisco Lindor. And last time I checked, especially if you're a Mets fan, you guys know exactly what I'm saying when I say this, but those guys have started to get it going again, and even that is not helping out as much as we thought. So you got a problem there, Mets fans. You got a serious problem in Queens.
So here's the thing. TD with a good question. If the Mets do not make the playoffs, what will Cohen do? Fire everybody?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but I think Mendoza's going to lose his job. You're not going to fire Stearns, but Stearns is the reason why the Mets are in this position right now, if you ask me. This roster is so poorly put together, man. It's unbelievable. How do you have 5 outfielders for 3 spots? And then when one gets hot, you pull him because you got to give the other one time. Beatty was hot, so what do? They pull Beatty, and now Vientos is on fire. What are you going to do? Pull Vientos next so that Mauricio could get at bats? How are these guys going to continue to put something together?
That's why, as much as I loved what the Mets did at the trade deadline in acquiring the 2 guys that you just mentioned a few seconds ago, I don't know why they stopped there. I think if you were going to go out there and land those 2 guys, I think the cherry on top to really just top it all off would have been to go out there. And we've talked about it before. Not many starters were available. And if they were, the prices were sky
exorbitant,
high,
yeah.
But I just think, that's something that they certainly could have addressed as well, right? In whatever way they could have.
It just feels like the Soto signing and the Soto doing what they did kind of accelerated the timeline when it should have been all about 2026, 2027, moving forward. Like signing Soto, accelerated their timeline to the point where you got to win right now.
Right.
You got to win right now.
Mets fans as well viewed the Juan Soto signing, exactly like that, right? Like, not only did we land the biggest fish that was available, but we actually stole him. Like, we took him away from our crosstown rival. Like, this is something that we
Mhm.
don't do. And when the Mets typically did do that, they were taking guys from the Yankees when they were already washed, ain't really have
Past
much
their
left in the
prime.
tank, you know?
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
fact that you were able to get this guy in the midst of his prime, as young as he still is, for as long as you're going to have him now moving forward, I understand why they actually went with, listen, it's 2025, it's 2026. It's damn near every year moving forward that is going to be an important for them.
Yeah. I mean, the Mets is put up or shut up time. So far, they're putting up tonight against the Phillies as of this recording, but we'll see what the next 2 days bring. Speaking of putting up or shutting up, and we're leaving right now.
Yeah, we got these final two teams to get into.
I want to get into this. This is gonna be real quick and short and brief. Yo, anybody want to win that American League West? Anybody want to win it? The Astros have been horrendous, but guess what? Seattle's been just as bad.
You know what I was thinking about before we actually went live with tonight's show when it comes to the Astros and the Mariners? What surprises me is the Astros have dealt with some things this season.
Yeah.
Obviously last week we spoke about Josh Hader being out for the rest of the season. I touched on Yordan Alvarez and the fact that he missed, a huge portion of this season as well.
Like 4
And the
months.
fact that they still hold first place in the American League West,
Incredible.
while a team such as the Mariners, for the most part, to my knowledge, had most of their guys ready
And got better.
available. And the only guy that really comes to mind, correct me if I'm wrong, I think George Kirby was probably like the only guy who missed a significant amount
He
of
missed
time.
like 3 months with
right.
I think it was a shoulder injury.
But I say that because like there's no reason why with the moves that you made to get Naylor and Suarez. And listen, that Suarez deal, he's had his fair share of games where he's going yard as a Mariner now,
he looks
but
bad.
he's looking like a completely different player, dude. He was better in Arizona.
There was no pressure in Arizona. There's pressure in Seattle now. And there's a free agent contract waiting at the end for him. That's different levels of pressure, dog. You got to perform right here, right now. We got you for a month and a half, and you got to go get the free agent bag at the end of the year. That's different, bro. And say what you want about the Astros. Carlos Correa knows how to perform when it's game time. Altuve knows how to perform when it's game time. You give the Astros a shot to sniff a chance to knock you out, you going to sleep.
Yeah, and Correa and Altuve, they're gonna be a problem come postseason time.
I'm telling you, bro.
We talked about some other guys who don't get the job done come playoff time, but those are two.
They do.
They
do.
It don't matter whether they win the West. It don't matter whether they get in as a wild card. Those are two guys who, if I'm a pitcher in the American League, I don't want to see them at the plate.
You're right.
I certainly don't.
You're right. And at some point, we got to stop talking about what Seattle's capable of doing. You got to do it. You got to do it.
As much as I want the Mariners to be able to finally get over the hump and take down a team such as the Astros and take advantage as well of the fact that, they've been out with some guys for this long. They're going to continue to be out with some of these guys for the remainder of the season, as we know. Now is your time. This is the perfect moment for the Mariners to capitalize. And for them to be playing as poorly as they are, it makes me wonder, like, damn, how bad do you guys even want it?
So, Shrek, the Texas Rangers are 6.5 back. They're going to bed. It's night time for them. They should have been here 2 months ago. The offense never showed up. The Rangers will not win the West. I'm putting that to bed right now. What has that offense showed you? When are they going to show up? When there's 10 games left?
Wow, yeah.
Come on, bro. Like, we got to stop.
We're basically with just a few days left before August ends. We're basically in September already. And here we are still yet again, like, the Rangers have the pitching, but, when's the offense going to get it going?
First of all, they're not better than both those two teams. You could tell me about the Astros pitching woes all day. They're not better. They're not better. And I'm harping on the experience. The Astros know how to do this. They've been here before. What the Dodgers showed you last year. If I got 3 starters with functioning elbows, I'm a problem. Yordan Alvarez is a postseason player. Carlos Correa is a postseason player. Jose Altuve is a postseason player. Them boys, they do this. We need to stop crapping on Texas pitching staff is great. But if you can't score, what good is the pitching? What did we just talk about at the top of the show?
What I really love
I'm talking about listen, stop. You need to stop.
Show the comment because there's a lot of comments that are coming down.
This is foolish. I'm talking about two guys that have won multiple championships with each other. They know what it's like in that city, bro. They've done this. Are we really gonna sit here and discredit those Astros? And I'm not no Astro lover. I called them dead last year. They made me eat that. We gotta respect it, bro. I don't care how it looks. They here. Respect what they have done.
Yeah, I agree. I certainly think that while I do love the Rangers in that starting rotation, I want to start off by saying that I think that, and Stefan actually said this, I believe, on last week's show. You can't just come out of nowhere as if like it were the flip of a switch to suddenly start hitting the ball how you really should have been hitting it all season long, right? And we get it. For certain teams, it takes longer than others. A lot of teams, they wait for the weather to get warmer as opposed to some of these other teams who right out the gate, they're rolling. But when it comes to the Rangers, and it's not like I don't want to see them make the playoffs, right? Like I would love for them over the next 2 weeks, we come back and we're talking about the Rangers, the Astros, and the Mariners.
Okay. All that's point well taken. You want to hear honesty? Evan Carter, not coming back, done for the year. Marcus Semien, knee injury, out 4 to 6 weeks, done for the year. Where are they getting the offense from? I hear you on the pitching tip, but who's scoring runs?
Yeah.
Who in that lineup is going to produce? Jonah Heim? Adolis Garcia ain't been good for 2 years. What are we what are we talking about? When I mention Altuve and Correa to you guys, you know what I'm mentioning? I've seen Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa hit walk-off home runs in the biggest moments. These guys do this. The pitching's nice to have, but if you can't do nothing with it, what does it matter?
Right. And I've seen, because from time to time, you'll see a post on social media.
And Seattle staff, I think Seattle staff is better than Texas staff. Seattle staff
maybe stuff wise, but not statistically, because statistically the Rangers have the best pitching.
I'm talking about you put Seattle in front of me in a 5-game shit. There's no way I want to deal with a George Kirby, Brian Wu. I don't want to deal with none of them brothers.
I think the Mariners have a deeper rotation.
Yes,
I would say that.
Yes,
but if I had to choose between the two right now as we speak, I would go with the Rangers for sure.
Here's my final question on this. Who's closing games for Texas, bro? Who's the closer? There's no Andres Munoz in Texas throwing 103.
Right.
Come on, bro.
See, but this is the problem, though, with the Mariners, Steph, and like I just told you, and I'm not trying to play devil's advocate.
No,
but
I'm good with it.
We sit here and say all these great things about the Mariners, and for some odd reason, they still can't even, figure it all out.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that you guys got to have a season where you win 100 games, 95+ games. I'm not even saying that.
With the team you have, you should, though.
Right, but it makes me wonder. It's like, you're looking up, and you're very close when it comes to the West, and you being in second, the Astros being in first as we speak. But it's like, damn, man, really? Let me look at it real quick. So
we listen, with all love, fellas, we agree to disagree on this. I don't see where Texas is
the Mariners are 2 games behind the Astros right now as we speak.
Yeah.
They're only 9 games over 500, dude. That's a
crazy.
little worrisome.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a little worrisome. Not saying that they can't get in, because I would love for the Mariners to get in. In fact, I want them to.
If they don't get in, they need to fire everybody.
Oh, that's the problem.
You talk about the Mets, the Mariners need to fire everybody.
Yeah.
How many kicks at the can is Jerry DePoto going to get to put a team together?
Mm-hmm.
You brought in the Rosarena, you brought in Naylor, you brought in Suarez, you got the pitching, your bullpen solid. What else you need?
So I want to ask because I kind of feel like we've narrowed this topic down to where we would like it to be. But with TD and Shrek, and some of you other guys who have something to say about this current topic, who do you guys have coming out of the NL West? So like, who do you have winning it, right? And then who do you have also snagging a wild card? Because I see you guys disagree, and that's okay, right? Some of you guys are big on the Rangers and that pitching staff. And it's not like Stefan and I are unaware of it. We've sat here and talked about that. We've given love to DeGrom. We've given love to Nathan Eovaldi. Listen, we've given credit, when it's due. But I'd like to know where you guys stand, though. TD says, unfortunately, I have the Astros winning it. Sox fan for life also got the Astros winning it. All right. Okay.
So y'all just playing devil's advocate. I'm cool. I hear y'all.
And I mean,
if they do, they're gonna be a tough out.
Yeah.
If they do, they're gonna be a tough out. But as I sit here right now, I don't see it.
Right.
And for me, you gotta kill Houston for Houston to give it up.
Well, here's the thing, Shrek. You got to get in, right? As I forgot who said something. I think it was about the Mets, right? It was TD. He said, Juan Soto is a dog in the playoffs, and you're right. I don't want to disagree with you not one bit. Same goes to you, Shrek. But still,
it's tough.
You got to get in, bro. Because listen, regardless of what you've done in the past, that goes for Seager, that goes for Randy Arozarena, that goes for Aaron Judge, his MVPs and the great seasons that he's had in the regular season. October is different, right? And for you to even be a part of the conversation, you got to snag a spot first.
Yeah, and then they don't look like they want to do that. And that's with them adding Merrill Kelly. So if they get in, they're gonna be tough to deal with, boy.
Yeah.
But I don't see the offense giving them enough. The Guardians, another one. They imploded. They went like on a 6-game losing streak. I think I saw.
Yeah.
They imploded. Speaking of imploding, this show's over.
Yeah, man. We are at an hour 20, but certainly worth it. I think we gave more than enough time for damn near every single topic, I would say.
I'm not giving the Yankees a shoo-in. I'm not.
Royals, TD, listen, don't listen. I know you and Shrek are boys, because you guys met each other here, but don't do that, bro. Don't do that. No, but TD, honestly, I'm a little surprised, not at the Sox and Mariners, but of course your last pick there. But we'll see.
They've been playing better baseball lately. I see what you said. I just think it's tough. It's tough.
Shrek says Royals, Rangers, Mariners in the wild card.
I don't see
those three teams a little dicey.
Yeah, right now they're really on the outside looking in. Somebody gonna have to get really, really, really hot.
This right here, what I just read is I kind of feel like Shrek's pick is like going against the grain with those three, Royals, Rangers, Mariners, that's going against the grain.
I love it. Hey, keep them coming. But speaking of going against the grain, we ending this bad boy. This was fun, y'all.
Yeah, it's a wrap, man. Listen, before we leave, you guys know where to find us. Shout out to everyone who stopped by.
We shared the socials.
Yeah.
Y'all seen them. We ain't sharing them again.
I really appreciate the fact that you guys were really in on tonight's topics,
Appreciate
it wasn't just one or two. I kind of feel like we spoke about several things, and all of you guys from TD to Shrek, Sox fan for life, Ray, whoever else, Chad as well. Sorry if I missed any names. But of course, as always, thank you. And we will be here yet again next Monday. Also, we are going to actually change the date of the show. We're probably going to have exactly when it'll be. It'll still be at 9:00, but by the look of things, it won't be on Mondays anymore. But I think by next week, Stefan, we'll be able to share.
We'll give you a definite time frame
with you guys on the show.
And
so by the way, you guys are here for that.
If you miss it live on the show, there's going to be a post in the community tab. So go to the community tab, hit the like button, hit the share button, and you know what I mean? And let's we'll see you guys next week. Pastor Steph is gonna go retire for a few weeks. I need to recharge the ramp batteries, but that was cool. Appreciate that. Thank y'all for stopping by, and we out of here, y'all. Peace.